Why do you think someone like Blair White is so desperate? Yeah.
She makes a ton of money.
Did the child of the richest person on the planet just criticize me for making YouTube videos to make money? That's actually shocking. That's shocking.
You Blair White.
Okay, it is time to address the rumors. The rumors are true. You guys have been catching on. You've been noticing little things. You know, it started with my picture with the Cybertruck, and then just you guys kind of commenting, Blair, are you gaining a little bit of weight? Or even just nice things. Blair, you're glowing. Thank you, by the way. And all of it is true. I am pregnant with Elon Musk's baby. I am his 13th side chick, and okay, I'm not pregnant with his baby. However, I am going to have to mother one of his children today, Vivian Musk, and respond to some talking, which I feel like I keep wanting to do other types of videos. I feel like every week I'm coming up here and I'm just like defending myself against what some other public trans person had said. We had Dylan Mulvaney. What's that big one's name? The man? Lily Tino. And now we have Vivian Musk. And I wasn't going to respond because I thought Vivian was actually a minor, because everyone refers to this person as his transgender daughter, his transgender child. But the word child, this is a 21-year-old, right? This is a grown adult. And again, someone with a lot of power. So I said, I don't feel bad, actually. I'm gonna go in on this bit. So if you don't happen to know, Elon Musk does in fact have a transgender daughter who has been at the center of a lot of really, in my opinion, ugly headlines. And I've had some empathy for this person, to be honest. I know people think I'm not capable of that, but hello. And I actually have not been a fan of how Elon Musk has talked about Vivian. I think that it's one thing, like, Elon Musk does not have to agree with Vivian being trans or trans at all. He could hate trans. To say things publicly like they've died in your eyes and shit like that, like, I find that really trashy. I find that really bad parenting. And like, I don't know, as someone who comes from some like pretty bad parenting, I'm just a little bit sensitive to like, why are you talking about your child being dead when they're alive and breathing? And so the point is, I actually have, I swear to God, had Vivian on sort of like a do not attack list in my mind. I've never even said this person's name before because I have felt bad. But if you're going to address me, you know, that's a different ballgame. We can crash out together. Let's go.
This would not be an episode of A Bit Fruity if I did not give some lashings to conservative LGBT people.
Oh God, let's go at it.
The first episode I ever did of this podcast was actually
Who
about
are we talking?
It was you're
I'm
about
ready.
to find out.
I wonder who. It's so funny because I really am the Voldemort of the trans community. That they love to play this game like, are we going to say her name? Are we going to say her name? How many LGBT conservatives could you be talking about? There are a few, but even less worth talking about. They know that. I know that. Wild guess. You're going to say Blair White.
You gave some very, I think, well-deserved lashings to trans conservative YouTuber Blair White.
First of all, the repeated lashing. What kind of slave owner? Who are you? Are you master? What's going on? You could never lash me. Not looking like that. That's for certain. And for second, even Vivian didn't lash me here because I'm looking at my tweet having 30K and hers having 10. So you couldn't even ratio me as the child of the most, you know, important, most famous man basically on the planet right now. So who got lashed, sis? Who got lashed? Knock off James Charles. Who?
Why do you think someone like Blair White is so desperate? Yeah.
She makes a ton of money in sponsorship.
Did the child of the richest person on the planet just criticize me for making YouTube videos to make money? Okay. That's actually shocking. That's shocking. First of all, it's a false premise to even act like the pursuit of money is something inherently wrong. Like, sorry, I have to survive. Sorry, I'm not a Nepo baby, Vivian Musk. Sorry, like, I actually never received $1 from either of my parents. But speaking of money, this video is sponsored. One moment. Have you ever caught yourself mindlessly reaching for a bad habit? Maybe out of stress, boredom, or because everyone else around you is doing it too? Trust me, we've all been there. And that's why today's sponsor, Fume, exists. It's not about quitting cold turkey. It's about replacing that habit with something better. There's no vapor. There's no nicotine, only flavor. It gives you all the satisfaction without any of the harmful chemicals. Zero downside, only upside. It's also perfect for oral fixation and fidgeting. Watch. I could do that all day. Fume's premium wooden design feels great and has these magnetic fidget features that are so satisfying. Honestly, it's the best thing ever when you're just stressed and also need to focus. Also, you can customize your flavor. My new favorite is definitely the spearmint ice because it gives you that just very sharp, crisp, refreshed feeling. Over 500,000 people have already switched to Fume and are already kicking their old bad habits. So if you want to see what the hype is about, go check it out. For a limited time, use my code Blair White when ordering the Journey Pack, and you'll score a free Fume topper and upgrade your experience. Click the link tryfume.com/Blair White or scan the QR code somewhere on the screen, and you can grab yours now. Thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Go check them out. And now on to the rest of the video.
In sponsorships.
Yeah.
And like YouTube ads. I keep fucking with the table. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's money.
Correct. And like attention. I do think she genuinely believes what she says, though.
It really has to be one or the other there, right? It really has to be, I'm doing it for money, which would make it fake, or I really do believe. And that's what they really have to grapple with, is they know I'm a real bitch. Every person that is in the trans community that wants to use words like a grifter or say that I'm being fake or doing something for money, they do know, and you just saw it pop out, that I am the realest bitch in the community. Whether I'm right or wrong, I could be literally factually wrong about everything I believe. That wouldn't make a single bone in this slightly plastic body fake. There's a lot of fake about me. My views, my personality, the shit that comes out of my mouth that I cannot control, that's just a blessing by God. That was instilled at birth. You know, I wouldn't criticize this about you if you weren't, you know, being so retarded. But unlike you, I'm not up on YouTube as a platform. I don't have a public voice because of who my dad is. I don't have people interviewing me or the ability to use my voice to put my opinions into the world because of who my parents are. I actually did that 110% by myself. Just like I'm sure the money in your bank account is definitely not 100% yours, right? The fact that you're even being interviewed right now and famous and on a platform, it actually has nothing to do with you. So that would be the difference between you and I. And there is a part of me, if I'm real right now, that wants to not be so harsh on Vivian because you're young. And that's not to be demeaning. You're objectively a young person. You're 21. But, you know, not that I'm saying it out loud, being young is not actually an excuse for being retarded. And when I was 21, that was actually the start of my channel. That was like when I started. And I know that I probably was definitely not as elevated intellectually back then. You can watch my first few videos, but I was not as stuck on stupid as this. Your IQ versus my doorknob. Guess who's winning? Guess who's winning?
But like, I mean, I know there are a bunch of like hosts of like Fox News that are like apparently liberal behind the scenes, allegedly.
The reason why leftists are constantly accusing other people of being grifters and not believing what they truly believe is because they don't. They're projecting. And also, it's so crazy because if I just used y'all's retarded lingo back on you and started just calling you things like transphobic, maybe that's the move. Maybe that's what I should do, because I actually find it extremely transphobic to reduce the intellectual capacity of anyone in the trans community to, like, if they're not liberal, they must be lying, because no one could actually stray from that groupthink, that sheepthink that we all have. Like, y'all think so small of trans people that it can't be that they have any sort of intellectual capacity to disagree with me. Like, how could a trans person have any capability to not just like parrot and repeat the same things we say all the time? Some of us do. Some of us do. And again, you're young, and so maybe you'll get there. It's also just lazy, because by making the conversation about like, well, does she even believe what she really believes? You know, there's Republicans who don't really believe that, blah, blah, blah. What you're doing is you're trying to find an excuse to not actually combat what I have to say. You're not going to mention what I have to say or my actual worldview, because then you have to debate it, and you can't because you're wrong. I actually believe everything I say. So if we could ever just get past that and start addressing the things I say, that would be probably ideal. And an actual way to defeat me, rather than for the rest of time just flop around like a dead fish repeating the same shit people have been saying to and about me on the internet for the past decade. I mean, this is just verbatim. This video has been made about me 100 times. The script has been the same every time. It's just like, it's weird. But that's that group thing. That's that like drone, you know, NPC collective consciousness thing that they have going on. Just no individualism. It's like no new things to say. Just the same shit that other retards were saying about me in like 2016.
Whether or not you go home and you're like, I'm actually nice behind the scenes, it's like, doesn't matter because you're not nice in front of the scenes.
Yeah.
Y'all also live in a Disney movie. It's about nice people and bad people, mean people versus good people. And you guys are the nice people when you start out a fucking video talking about who are we going to give lashings to today. See, at least I don't fake it, right? At least I don't pretend to be the nicest person. I know I'm quite a bit a bitch. I am quite a bit a bitch, right? But when it comes to me, see, I'm a wolf. You see me coming, bitch. I'm not a wolf in sheep's clothing. You see me coming. I don't gotta move in silence. I really don't. I'll make a whole scene, a whole ruckus. I feel like this is so unserious. This is so unserious. This is so unserious, so it's like I have to be.
Fucking Blair White. She is so interesting to me. I mean, she's not that interesting because, like you said, it's like once you're...
Everything they say, they immediately contradict themselves with the other. Like they're just scared to actually say something. Blair White, she's so interesting to me. I mean, she's not that interesting to me. I think she really believes what she says she believes. But you know what? I don't think she really says that. Y'all are scared to make a stand about anything, even your feelings about someone that you just said you're going to give, lashings to? What did the slave master say over here? Knock off James Charles, lashings.
Once you're making money from that sort of speech, it's like, okay, well, you're just going to do it as long as it's making money.
Yeah.
But
she's gone progressively further right as she's going to. Also, fuck you, Blair White. I want to get that out there.
Yeah.
I have become progressively further right, actually, yes, because y'all have gotten progressively more retarded. You have pushed me even farther, so congrats on that, but that's not my fault. Also, it's so interesting. Once you realize something makes you money, you just keep doing it. Yeah, that's called surviving in the world. That's number one. Is this video is monetized, right? Is your video monetized? Or are you Fruit Loop Gandhi over here doing it all for free? Because I actually do remember a time, I would say the first almost year of my channel, despite the fact that I was already within the first year getting videos with hundreds of thousands of views, I didn't even think about monetizing it my first year, pretty much. I remember I had to have, I think the YouTuber was Shoe on Head. Shout out to Shoe. It's been a long time, sis. Her and her boyfriend had to like sit me down and be like, so you have to start thinking about making money about this. This is how you monetize your channel. And she showed me how to do it. It's like, you should be making money. And I should. I absolutely should. Which is why there is another ad. One moment, please. Touchy subject here, but has anyone ever felt completely trapped by debt? Whether it's credit card bills piling up, student loan debt, overwhelming medical bills, like the list can go on and on. Debt can feel completely and totally overwhelming. And when you're stuck juggling bills, it can be really easy to just end up losing hope. And I really wish that at certain times I had PDS debt sooner, because they're really awesome and genuinely about helping people find their way out and to get their lives back. PDS Debt understands your unique financial situation and creates a customized plan no matter your credit score. They've already helped hundreds of thousands of people break free from debt, and they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau and have thousands of positive comments, 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Stop letting debt control your life. You're literally 30 seconds away from changing everything. Go to pdsdebt.com/Blair White to get your free debt assessment. Again, that's pdsdebt.com/Blair PDS.Debt/Blair White. Thank you so much to PDS Debt for sponsoring today's video. And now on to the rest of the video. By the way, if I wanted to make a bunch of money, I would just do OnlyFans. I would actually just bust it open. But it's so interesting that's the only thing you guys can bring up, because clearly you're so, satanic in your mindset. You're so matrixed out in your mindset that like I have to either be lying or doing something for money. Like not everyone is living that spiritually broke of a life. That is a spiritually broke life. Let me try to figure out why this person's doing this. Okay, it's money or lying or thievery. Not everyone is interested in doing devilry like y'all. Not everyone's just being a fake ass bitch for a living or a Nepo baby for a living, which is cute. And I appreciate the fact that you're a Nepo baby, but you should not talk about money at all. You should not talk about money at all. Like there's just the fact that she brought that up first is like, wow, the light's not on yet, right? It's not on. Maybe your dad can hook you up with a Neuralink to just up that IQ a little bit, because again, my doorknob versus you, it's concerning.
Yeah, Blair White. LGBT conservatives. It's a fixation that I have because I'm just like, how?
Sometimes when you don't understand things, it's because you're stupid, not because the other person is. Like if you're so fixated on it because you're like, how? I can't figure it out. Is that more of a statement on the people you can't understand, or is it more of a statement on the fact that you're intellectually incapable of understanding them? Because I actually am very confident in knowing I intellectually understand why y'all hold every single opinion you hold. I don't always spiritually understand it. I don't always relate to it. Most things I don't relate to, ways of thinking that you guys have, but I like intellectually understand, like, okay, this is why they think this is why they think this. This is because they're retarded. Like, I get it. So if you're so fixated, you just can't get off of LGBT conservatives because you just don't get it, that might be a sign that you're dumb. In fact, it is a sign that you're dumb.
And like you said, it's like once they're making money from it.
But there are like LGBT conservatives who are also like not making money.
That's the thing. And I'm like,
so maybe they really think that way. Maybe they really think that way. I can't. The collective IQ in this video. Oh my God.
Again. Maybe it's like delusion. Like they genuinely think that these people like actually tolerate them. It's like, no, they don't, babes.
I think it is a lot of delusion. Mm-hmm. And it's like this optimism about like, no, I'm one of the good ones. I promise I'm one of the good ones, but they'll never see you that way.
They literally have 4 lines. I swear to God. They're not even put off by the fact that they are walking, talking automatons, repeating things that they see are top comments in comment sections like, oh my God. Maybe they already have the Neuralink. Holy shit. It's also very indicative again of their, low IQs, that they can't actually perceive of like multiple different reasons why someone would hold a political position, right? So for them, it's just about community. It's just about like, I'm going to say things that are nice, so nice people and people I want to like me. That's what you guys do, because again, everything is fucking projection. If I wanted people to like me, I would be fake and say I'm a Democrat or not talk about politics and hide the fact that I have certain views. I really would. Back to the money thing you're so obsessed with. Every time I hit play on this video, it's like money. I would have way more money as a liberal transsexual, and you know that. Be so fake in the comment section, stranger. Be so fake. If I was a liberal coming out the gate, being who I am, having my personality, and yes, I don't care looking the way I do, I would have already had a few shows on MSNBC. I'd be loaded as shit, and I would have way more people who quote unquote like me. I know it's really difficult when you struggle with nuanced thought, but some people don't actually factor in like being liked or having a community with their political views. Some people are just being honest with themselves and others about how they feel.
It's like a desperation from validation, because like if someone says, Natalie, when actually talks about this, if someone says something negative about you, you might be more inclined to believe it's true. And conservatives say negative shit about the gays and the trannies all the time. I literally just said trannies.
I think the real delusion, obviously, is like the idea that you guys have some sort of monopoly on being nice. Excuse me? Like, Republicans say bad things about trannies and gays all the time. Well, you know what? There's a libbed out book further to the left of you, Vivian, that would call you a transphobe for even using that word.
You can say it. I can't.
The gay.
It's your microphone.
I really good point. Okay, I don't want to be accidentally. People are mad at me that I say the word Chinese a lot, but
I mean,
I think it's really funny.
That is not my cross to
Blair
bear.
White also says trans. Does she? I think.
Probably, but she probably means it negatively.
If someone says something negative about you,
if you can't say anything to Vivian sitting next to you about tranny because that's a trans territory, then little fucking gay boy, knock off James Charles, don't say shit about how I say tranny, bitch. I'm so glad I'm not a lib. Look how miserable it looks to be a lib. Like getting in little hiccups trying to have a conversation. Well, I can't use that word, but you can. But this person says that word. It's just weird. Say anything you want about conservatives. Like, I promise you, it is not this like weird and boring to like talk to a conservative.
You're kind of desperate for anyone to perceive you as what you perceive yourself as.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be going to like really negative places and going to depths that you shouldn't be going to in search for validation, even if it's fake. And I think that might be kind of where some LGBT conservatives are at.
I'm so glad we're having this therapy session and you're telling me what you've really experienced, because I promise you I can't relate to that. I promise you I can't relate to that. I have never genuinely, I don't care. There's different types of archetypes of people, and some of this I think is just how you were born, how your brain works. I have never sought, it sounds ridiculous like a foreign language to even say outside. I've never sought validation from other people to do with me being trans. I've never bullied anybody into believing I'm a woman. I've never been upset at anybody who thinks I'm a woman versus a man versus a hermaphrodite, a reptilian. I don't give whatever you want to say I am. I'll be that. I don't care. And I've actually always been like that. Even when I was a teenager and I used to have like a very alternative, like weird look, people would ask me all the time, do I call you a boy or a girl? And I'd be like, I don't care. Like, that's how I was. If anything, if you think about it, I was like the OG, like punk rock, like cool version of non-binary that wasn't like an annoying communist lived out bitch. It was like, I'm not gonna police the pronouns you use for me. I don't give a fuck. Like if you say she, if you say he, I didn't care. That's how I was as a kid. If you grew up seeking validation and quote, like you said, even if it's fake, that's some sad shit. And that's something to work out with your therapist, but not to project on me. Which is the first thing you kind of learn in therapy, by the way. You don't project your own shit on other people. But if you're unhealed, if you're spiritually broke, spiritually bankrupt, these are the kind of, conclusions you're going to come to about other people, right? That I feel this, so this means this person must feel that. That's not really how the world works, actually. I'm tired. Does anyone in the chat know how to do voodoo? Because I have a bitch I want turned into a possum by tonight. Miss Vivian. No, listen. The moral of the story is this. I do want to turn the page here and put a button on this that's just a bit lighter. I sense a lot of hurt in you, Vivian. That's not me being mean. I have a lot of hurt in me. I'm working through it every day. People have hurt in them. But again, you do have to learn to not project on other people. That's something you definitely learn as you get a bit older. And I do have empathy for the fact that you are so young. You are so public. But what you're choosing to do with your platform right now, certain things might just bite you in the end. I'll say that. Perhaps a projection of you seeking validation you don't get from your father. That's not coming from a place of judgment. I know that because I have a lot of trauma, specifically involving my dad. And so I can say, as someone whose father has passed away, I hope that you and your father come to a place where he can apologize for anything that he said negative about you in the press, because I've seen it and I hate that for you. And so because of that, I genuinely do hope that you heal from that, move on. And if you continue to be a public figure in the way that you are, I would just suggest knowing what you're talking about before you talk about it. That would be my genuinely friendly advice. With that being said, thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Go check them out, link in the description. And also, it's no real beef. It is what it is with Vivian. I mean, nothing here was very serious. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my podcast channel, follow me on X, Instagram, TikTok, all the places, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.